Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Josef Krips Box number 1. Now, this is the mono stuff on Decca that was produced between 1947 and 1955, mostly with the London Symphony Orchestra and occasionally with the Vienna Philharmonic and some other people like that. And there's some very interesting things in here, I must say. There really are. I prefer, if you're only going to get one box, I would get his stereo box because it has, you know, the Schubert Ninth, the Great Schubert Ninth. This one has a really good one too, but the Great Schubert Ninth, the Mozart, Don Giovanni, and symphonies, and a couple other things that are rather nice to have. But here we have his original Decca productions, and let's take a look on 22 CDs. There's more of them here than there were on the other things, and these are all original jackets. See, like that. Some of them very old original jackets. Oh, here's a nicer one. Look at that original jacket. Doesn't it look original and jacketish? It's lovely. So let's see what we have. And yeah, here we go. Mozart. Yes, he did so much Mozart. He was a wonderful Mozart conductor for the most part. And yeah, CD 1. Fortunately, this is Eloquence, so you get a beautiful booklet with interesting notes and all of your track listings, and it's accurate, and it's carefully made, and it's such a change from the usual crap that these people give us. Okay, Mozart, arias and things. Mozart, Puccini with Hilda Gudin. Oh, how nice. I mean, she was a wonderful singer. Let's see, more Mozart, and with, let's see, who else is doing this stuff? Richard Lewis and Raphael Arle bass, and it's got Don Giovanni, Puccini, you got O Mio Babino, Caro, among other goodies, and Anton Dermota is the tenor in some of this stuff, in Dalla Sua Pace, with the new symphony orchestra. Massenet, Manon, Bizet, Pearl Fishers, Mussorgsky, some Boris Godunov stuff, the Farewell and Death of Boris, bits from La Sonnambula with the people just mentioned. So that's fun to have. There's more Puccini here too. Wait a minute. There's more La Boheme. Wait a minute. They broke this all. Oh, they broke it up in like different bits because it's Hilda Gudin doing Mozart and Puccini and like everybody else doing all that other stuff with the London Symphony. Now, the London orchestras, let's be sort of generalizing here, from the 1940s and early 50s were lousy. Really in somewhat parlous shape. But you can hear that. You can hear that on these recordings, those London Philharmonic recordings that Bolt did in the 50s of like Vaughan Williams symphonies and things, and the Anthony Collins, Sibelius. You know, they really were not in great shape. And Krips was a good conductor, and he got the LSO. He was conductor of the LSO from 1950 to 54. He started to get them to pull themselves together, but they still weren't anything special, and it is foolish to pretend otherwise. So where he remade these things, if you want the particular singers or he's just accompanying, it's one thing. But where he's the star of the show, and he remade things in stereo, then the stereo recordings are to be preferred universally and without exception, just so you know. So then we've got a Strauss program with all these British people, the National Symphony Orchestra, the New Symphony Orchestra, these pickup bands, and then a couple things with the London Symphony. And they're all okay, you know, but you want to hear Strauss done by like authentic Vienna people in Vienna, then this is not the one. Mozart, Overture, The Marriage of Figaro, and Symphonies 39 and 41 with the London Symphony Orchestra. Again, it's not terrible. It's a little bit, I think, sluggish by today's standards. I think the Concerto remakes are 100,000% better. They sound better, and everything about them is better, and it's just the truth. Schubert, Rosamunde Overture, and the little symphony, the little C major symphony, number 6 with the London Symphony. Okay, it sounds fine. It's shapely and attractive, and the playing's not horrible, and the mono sound isn't dreadful. We get an unfinished. But he redid the unfinished with the exposition repeat and all that stuff later on, and with Vienna, it's like much better. Yes, of course it's better. Haydn, Symphony number 104 with the London Phil, nothing special. And the Weber Overture to Orianti, all with the LSO, the Haydn's with the London Phil. it's just okay. It's okay. It's decent. Brahms 4 with the London Symphony, quite good. Quite good. It's swift, it's exciting, it's passionate, it's sort of straightforward, unsentimental, which Brahms certainly was. I enjoyed hearing this Brahms Fourth, and the London Symphony sounds quite good. This is from 1950, and the sound is starting to get better. The Dvorak Cello Concerto with Zara Nelsova. Well, that's for Zara Nelsova fans, and she's a wonderful cellist, by the way. So that's fun to have. And a collection of Mozart overtures with the London Symphony Orchestra. You get the Magic Flute, Così, Marriage of Figaro, Don Giovanni, Abduction from the Seraglio, and Der Schauspiel Director. Mozart's always good to have. Now we've got some arias. Ariadne auf Naxos, Zerbinetta's aria, Großmächtige Prinzessin, and a couple Mozart concert arias with Ilse Hallweg, and Erna Guy is doing, playing the piano in Ariadne, because there's a piano part in that with the LSO, so that's fun to have. On CD 9, two more Mozart symphonies, 39 again, and because we just had 39, didn't we? Yes, I believe we did. I know I talked about this. Wait a minute, let me just make sure I'm not hallucinating. Yeah, there it was, because you remade it right away. This one was from like the dawn of time. They give you the dates. They should. We're Lord in London, not to February 49. And they were still doing 78s back then. Then they did LPs. So we have 39 and 31. Now from 1950 something, when he was 52, when he was in charge of the London Symphony. And the playing is notably better, I will say. Beethoven Violin Concerto with Alfredo Campoli. I think Campoli was a great violinist, and it's wonderful to hear him play this piece from 51. It's really a lovely performance, flowing and intelligent and sensitive, and I enjoyed it. Mendelssohn Italian Symphony, Schumann 4, again with the LSO, 1952. Okay, they're good. They're not really competitive with the best today, but you want to hear this historically, then, well, you pay your dues and you get what you get, but you get good stuff. Mozart G minor and Haydn Oxford Symphony with the London Symphony from 53. The Mozart's better than the Haydn. Again, people really didn't get Haydn in the 50s, except for Beecham in his own inimitable way. Haydn has to be played like Beethoven. It needed to have more vigor and energy than anybody was willing to give it in this period, frankly, except maybe Hermann Scherchen on one of his crazier days. Then you got interesting results. Schumann Piano Concerto with Wilhelm Kempff and the London Symphony from 53. This is a classic performance if you're a Kempfian or a Kempfer or whatever you call yourself, and so that's worth hearing. Mozart Piano Concertos 23 and 24 with Clifford Curzon. Those are certainly worth hearing. Elijah. Oh, this was boring. I'm sorry. It's not bad. It's traditional. The singing isn't fabulous. The singers are, who's Elijah's Bruce Boyce and Jacqueline Delmet, Norma Proctor. She showed up in some Mahler stuff later. Remember her? She's the angel and Jezebel, and George Marin as the tenor, as Obadiah and Ahab. And I just found this to be something only a British oratorio choral enthusiast could love. Mozart Piano Concertos 4 and 5 with Misha Elman and the New Symphony Orchestra of London. Well, Misha Elman fans will want that, and the company's fine, and that's okay. Again, these are in boxes also dedicated to those artists, like the Kempf Decca stuff and the Kempf, So we move in CD 18, the last three, to Vienna. And you get the Abduction from the Seraglio, which is a lovely and light and fun performance without dialogue, thank God. Well, there's one bit of dialogue in it somewhere, but thank God there mostly isn't. It's an ensemble cast. That's the kind of thing that Krips insisted on. He much preferred to have an ensemble of singers who all knew what they were doing and worked together than having big stars, because he felt that they would take over the show and sort of detract from the overall concept. It's a very German idea. But you've got, Selim is Heinz Wüster, he's a Sprecher, and Wilma Lipp is Constanze, and Blonde is Emmy Luce, and we have Walter Ludwig and Peter Klein, and Endre Kore is Osman, who is sort of the weak link in this particular cast. But yes, it's a charming and delicious Mozart Entführung. And it's a wonderful precursor to the great Don Giovanni that we get in the stereo box, right? Then you've got some other Mozart bits attached to this. Maria Reining singing Porgy Amor and E Susanna non vien dove sono. Dove sono I bei momenti. Yes, where have those beautiful moments gone? And let's see, what else have we got? That's then Lisa Della Casa doing a couple bits here. And who else? Anton der Motta, the Vienna Phil under Karl Böhm, because this was attached originally. He's not even conducting. Yeah, this is all, let's see, the Maria Reining and Della Casa and der Motta, it's all Karl Böhm. Yeah. And one of them, Lisa Della Casa, is Victor Reinshagen. And yeah, it's not him. Let's put it that way. But it's nice to have those singers. It's nice to have them doing those arias. We're not complaining. Mozart Requiem. Oh my goodness. This is actually an interesting Mozart Requiem. A little bit slow, I think, but it's done with all male cast. You've got male treble and alto soloists from the Vienna Boys Choir, and a choir of men and the Vienna Boys Choir, which makes it an interesting Mozart Requiem. It dates from 1950. So if you're a Mozart Requiem collector, then I would give this a shot. It's not going to sound like any other. Schubert 9 with the Concerto. Well, this is 52. And he remade it in stereo with the London Symphony, and it's one of the great recordings ever. And this is also pretty splendid. It really is. I mean, you know, the Concerto was doing wonderfully. And last but not least, Beethoven's Fourth. Now, he did all the Beethoven symphonies for Everest in the LSO. I mentioned that in the previous video. Some of you have said, oh, yes, I particularly like that. Well, I particularly don't really care about that cycle. It's okay. It's not terribly special or wonderfully well played or recorded, but a remastering might change my viewpoint. Who knows? But this fourth is lovely. It was a piece that was very close to Krips' heart. And it's nice to have with the Concerto playing it from this period. So there you go. The first Crips Box. It is not, in my mind, as desirable as the second Crips Box, but if you're collecting these things, then of course you'll want it. For the Mozart stuff, it's always worth listening to, even to make the comparisons in the earlier Schubert and some of these other things. He was a very good musical conductor. And so you don't really hear anything that's atrocious. That's bad, but there are better things, even by him. So you have to make your decision. It's definitely a collector's item, and I would treat it as such. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.